Search AI.
Basically, general idea is to make an AI assistant that will speed up any legal research. Actually, the computing power or the technology itself today um, allows us to understand human language, allows us to understand what human is actually searching for.
But in a layman's term, how case research AI will help them in their legal journey? A lawyer from a tier 2 city, how easy it should be for their understanding it.
I want to make it as easy as Google. That's the shortest version, but even easier because as a legal person, you know what information you're looking for.
Is AI a threat to their livelihood?
I think it's a huge opportunity, and I think it's probably I hate this word, but a game changer.
Let's talk about the product. How?
Yes.
Why? 15 years of experience working in technology. How did you thought that let's make something for lawyers that has AI and ultimately will become an assistant for them? So how is that?
You know, it probably started way before we had this idea. We won't be talking today. Probably somewhere like 12 years ago, my wife and I traveled to India, and she continued her journey, and she's learning Sanskrit now. And well, this AI will be like a groundbreaking thing. It was just like we are doing it. That's it. That's it. That's it. But it wouldn't happen if I didn't fall in love with people and with the country.
What are the challenges when it comes to creating a product sitting in one country, creating it for some other country based on your gut feeling and maybe some of the research that you did?
A lot of challenges, really. First of all, as I mentioned, AI today is like early grader in the universities. Not like unicorns flying and doing magic. It's not a Harry Potter. It's a lot of work to simulate the actual intelligence. No, but the product that no one knows and no one has experimented with, well, it takes some time to adopt, right? So we
Now, when a model like ChatGPT, which goes everywhere and finds few things for you, and you, I mean, by you I mean a lawyer who doesn't have time to train ChatGPT, even their team, because they are not generally not tech savvy.
yeah, right, but I want to explain a little bit more because
Sure.
like we feel the pressure because people know what ChatGPT is and what it's capable of, and it's usually like, hey, those guys already have it, like why don't you?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lex Talk, Lex Talk podcast, where we deep dive into the world of legal. And today we are doing something different from what we generally do. Today we're going to talk about the space of legal tech, and that too about involvement of AI in legal fraternity as a whole. And I am completely layman about this. So to help you guys understand about it, we have Anatoly. Anatoly is typically from Ukraine. His organization is Case Research AI, and it is about AI. So we're going to learn a lot of things about him. But before that, let's welcome Anatoly. Hi, Toli. How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I'm doing really good. It's so sunny in Warsaw today, so it's awesome. Yeah.
Great. Good to hear that. And I am really sorry, Toli, and my viewers, for my bad hair day today. It's just not getting right for me. But if the content is good, nobody focuses on my hair. So let's just forget about it and let's try to understand about Toli. So, Toli, let's set some context for our audience. And if you can make us understand who Anatoly actually is, and then we'll understand about Case Research AI.
I can talk for hours about that, but I'll try to make it short for this podcast. But I come from the technical background, and I worked as a uh, different leadership positions in technology for over 15 years. And then I started my own company, and then we like kind of came to the understanding that actually we don't want to do a service, we want to do a product, and this is where the story of Case Research AI has started.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought you said 4 hours. I thought there's more coming into this. Okay, so
Yeah. Well, I will. Don't worry about that. I will add as long as we go. I will add some extra details and funny stories about like how it happened, why we're doing this, and stuff like that. Like lots of fun actually. Well, you're making your product, and believe me, I can actually. Do you watch like stand-up comedians?
I love a lot of them, Matt Rife and Trevor Noah and so on and so forth.
So I think like one day I will be able to write my own like stand-up comedy about like making a product in 2024.
And I guess I will be that guy who will buy the first day, first show ticket
Perfect,
for the
perfect.
seat. All right. Okay. So we will learn more about in that sense. But case research AI, it kind of tells what it is about, but it's good to know always about the product from the product owner. So the ball is in your court. What is case research AI?
Oh. So uh, basically, general idea is to make an AI assistant that will speed up any legal research and make it from like occupying 3 to 4 hours to like 15 minutes or even less, in a way that like you don't have to actually play with the words or like change your search requests, because actually the computing power or the technology itself today um, allows us to understand human language, allows us to understand what human is actually searching for. So why don't we use it to make something like really beautiful and really optimal, instead of like doing the way we do today.
Right. Okay. If you have to simplify this understanding, let's say a lawyer who has an idea about AI or how the technology works, but in a layman's term, how case research AI will help them maybe in their legal journey. Let's say a lawyer from India, because you focus on India. So let's say a lawyer from a tier 2 city. Uh, how should how easy it should be for their understanding? I mean, if you can ease it for both me and that lawyer sitting in some remote city, and trying to make things easy for him.
I want to make it as easy as Google. That's the shortest version, but even easier, because as a legal person, you know what information you're looking for. The problem is the amount of information to search that in, and the problem is to actually uh, tune or play with your uh, search phrase to actually find it, and which is actually let's imagine you have like a last minute thing to search. You have like really limited time, and you what would you do today? Like you have your team, you have like everyone on top of like searching, like, hey, I found this, I found that. Well, to me as a like the person with a technical background, it sounds like these mainframe computers where lots of people were operating like one single machine, while today we can do the same amount of work with just a click of a mouse. So this is the contrast I have in my head when I think about like how can we improve today's situation. So for an average person, it will be just like it's easy to search, it's easy to find, it's easy to process, and it's easy to present those findings to whoever you need these results to present to.
Right. So in other words, right now, let's say in legal fraternity, there is a complex machinery that is working. Multiple people looking for multiple things, and then you are trying to figure out what's right to be put in, let's say, in a case or something like that. What case research AI is doing is it's simplifying that machinery, and uh, up to a level, it is kind of significantly increasing the accuracy of what you are actually looking for, just pertaining to legal fraternity. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, right. You're 100% correct, and you can imagine like we are. Uh, we really want to speed the things up in terms of like search research but for us this is just the first step. We have like a bigger idea in mind. We actually want to make an assistant that will not only be able to search, but will be able to perform multiple tasks related to answering questions that lawyer has. That's the main goal. But
Okay. Okay.
start small, do one thing good, and then continue working on some other stuff. That's the motto of say I want to say my life, but I did so many mistakes with doing things the other way that I will probably will not say it this way. But I really try to follow this rule, and we really want to do the same with case research AI. Just do one thing right, and if it helps people, we're gonna move on and add some features so that it is even more helpful.
No, 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 that makes sense. I'm a big fan of creating a right MVP first, because if we see what was Facebook, it started as a couple of guys who made a website to rate girls out of Oxford University or maybe some
Yeah,
other
yeah.
university. So that's how it started. But now we all see how it's going on. Okay, I want to dive into some controversial conversation because so for our viewers, Stoli was there in the conference and he kind of received a lot of appreciation for what he's doing, and I still hear a lot of notes from our participants about Toli's case research AI and how it is trying to simplify things, particularly to for Indian lawyers, because we are so many numbers, and of course we are, as Toli said in an interview quickly with me in the conference, that we are good at English, we are good with technology adoption, and we are India. So yeah, these are three were the reasons. Anyways, the controversial discussion generally that we hear totally around us from lawyers is AI a threat to their livelihood? Is it going to threaten them in terms of how it's going to ease the work, and maybe for a council, companies will lay off a lot of workforce and have just few people because AI is doing a lot of tasks. What's your take on this?
Um, I have a short and easy answer for you and a bit of a longer discussion, but generally, um, right now, AI at the stage as considered like a first grader student. He has a lot of energy. He's very into the process. He can do lots of stuff. He can work tirelessly a lot, but you still have to control his work, and you still have to guide him. Uh, so whether like first grader is the threat for the entire industry, not really, right? So uh, I think it's a huge opportunity, and I think it's probably I hate this word, but a game changer uh, in a way that and it's not my phrase. I took it, but I really like it. That people who use AI will replace people who don't use AI in future. But definitely AI will not replace people.
That's so
No
beautiful.
way that could
That's
happen.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I mean, that's the one line answer that you should say every time, whenever, or I should say, whenever anybody asks me such question in any networking. Uh, Great, Toli. So we are going to discuss more about case research AI and about the product journey, how the idea actually came, and all of this. But I want to stop the business discussion. I want to deep dive into again who Anatoly is. So Toli, as we know, we you come from Ukraine originally. You belong to
Mhm.
Ukraine, but I also have an understanding that right now you're not in Ukraine. Maybe for obvious reasons you're not there. So tell us a picture about before and after the war. What was happening? I imagine that before the war you kind of left Ukraine and you came to Poland, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, we changed. My family and I changed about like 10 countries, so we travel quite a bit around the globe, and it was like a good journey one would like to have if one is not forced to travel, actually. But as soon as you are forced to travel, it kind of gets a little bit of different spice in terms of or the different flavor of traveling, and you like, okay, well. But the whole team, we were because we were working for quite a bit even before the war. The whole team was in Ukraine, so we are huge supporters of the Ukrainian armed forces. We donate, we help them as much as we can, and at the same time, we try to mm, do our job. And in my opinion, our job is to um, make news about Ukraine not only in the field of the war, but also in the field of like new technology advances or new products. And this is as important as keeping the news about the war, because we felt like we are over 2 years in the war right now. And it was all over the headlines at the very beginning, and then the other news like took over those headlines, and we felt like the amount of support of the world is decreasing. So uh, keeping that in headlines is as important as I'm sorry.
No worries.
Keeping that in the headlines is
Oh,
may have
we
I
do we
have
have another member in the podcast?
yes.
Oh my God. Hi, hello.
Hey, hey. Yeah, she just
Oh my God, she's so sweet.
she doesn't know how to take the helmet off,
Oh.
so she came here to ask for help.
Oh
But
my God, sweet. Yeah,
I'm
please.
so sorry for this
Don't be,
personal
don't
touch,
be.
but I'm really think that keeping Ukraine in the news is important, but we should show like it's not only the war, it is a technology country as well as India, because everyone knows about India, and probably only people who work with Ukrainians know that Ukraine has like the technology industry as well, but we are very similar in terms of technology advanced, so to speak.
Right, right. No, that makes sense. So you just also mentioned that your team currently is in Ukraine as well.
Yeah.
I just wonder, a country which is not that big in terms of the size of it, the size of it, and there's a war going on there. There is a lot of instability that we can imagine, based on news, based on a lot of different angles of information coming in. Uh, how does that work? I mean, how does a team uh, in a war zone or in a country where war is happening find its stability to create such a product like Case Research AI?
Actually, there are two sides, and one is everyone adapts to the environment they live in. Everyone is have their own sort of bunker with electricity, internet, and everything. I have to say that actually having this goal of building a product, it's a huge motivator for people to actually stay sane and to do something, because we as human beings, we like to create something new. We
Right.
like to uh, do stuff that will do good. All right, maybe not all of us. There are some, but in general, we want to create something, and the joy of seeing how results of your work help people is actually a huge motivator for you to move on and to uh, get better and actually feel that you are alive.
That's beautiful. I mean, there's one song of, I guess, One Direction. Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. I guess that's what the human race is all about, as you just said. And I mean, from deep of my heart and from my team and everyone who kind of uh, appreciated the work that you are doing, maybe now know that what goes behind this and the people behind the curtains. So I would like to first of all congratulate to you and your team, everyone wherever they are sitting, and secondly thank you very much for staying sane in such tough times. And we all are always with you. India, I don't represent India, but let's say I represent few of the people, and I guess those people are part of India. So I guess we are with you, and keep on doing this thing here. Nothing else. Uh, okay, there
Thank
was
you,
a
thank you.
it was a personal deviation, but anyways, okay. So totally, this was I believe these were hard times, and you kind of came out of it. So let's not talk about it anymore. uh, let's talk about the product. How,
Yes.
why? 15 years of experience working in technology. How did you thought that let's make something for lawyers that has AI and ultimately will become an assistant for them? So how does that thought process work?
Um, it probably started way before we had this idea, because and we won't be talking today if probably somewhere like 12 years ago, my wife and I traveled to India, and she traveled way more than I did over the north of the country, and we traveled a bit together. But the thing is that like those times is where when we fell in love with the country and we fell in love with the people. This for me was a starting point. For her, she continued her journey and she's learning Sanskrit now,
Oh,
and she's yeah. Uh, but without those travels, it probably wouldn't be possible because, well, y- without having a personal touch, it's really hard to start doing something. Then um my good friend and teammate were discussing the idea of legal assistant because he's a lawyer.
mhm.
He worked and he while I was working in technology, he was working as a lawyer in Ukraine, and he told me like lots of stories. And he said like, well, this AI will be like a groundbreaking thing, and we had lots of discussion because we see each other very often because of our like sporting activities. But um, we started researching and looking for where to apply this idea of legal assistant. And this is when we traveled to Paris for this IBA conference. And
Mhm.
luckily, thanks for IBA for organizing this event, because you are able to talk to lots of people. And lawyers from India were like the most open to the idea. They were actually the most curious. And whilst being there, I asked my team to actually confirm what I saw on the conference by talking to people. And they were actually like in a parallel trying to reach out people in India and talked to them and about the idea, and they confirmed it. So it was just like, we are doing it. That's it. That's it. That's it. But it wouldn't happen if I didn't fall in love with people and with the country, right? And it wouldn't happen if I didn't have my colleague who was a lawyer who has experience in the industry, and so it's lots of things coming together in the same place and the same
Right.
time.
Right, right. So when we think generally retrospectively, there are a lot of things that has to fall in place, and everything happens for a reason. So that's where the idea of case research AI came.
And
Um,
I'm actually really excited making product for Indian market right now because I have an ability to travel to India, and like traveling is actually a huge motivator for me. And being able to travel to remote places is even more.
oh, great, great. Um, so this is the ideation part of it. So you travel to India and you like the people, and then IBA happened, and then you met the people, and then you're in between your lawyer friend, and everything just happened, and it is the start of the story. But how does it go forward? What are the challenges when it comes to creating a product sitting in one country, creating it for some other country based on your gut feeling and maybe some of the research that you did, using your team? And what are the challenges specifically that I just want to understand that people a lot of times talk about, it sounds good, it sounds great, well done, but what are the challenges? And you said there are a lot of funny stories that you have. So we have an open floor.
All right, thank you. Thanks for coming today, guys. So a lot of challenges, really. First of all, as I mentioned, AI today is like early grader in the university, so you really have to work. It's not like a unicorns flying and doing magic. It's not a Harry Potter. It's a lot of work to simulate the actual intelligence. So it's bunch of tools, bunch of experimenting, stuff like that. And actually the worst part of it that it's a new thing. Not a lot of experts in the field, so in many ways we try to create something that has never been done before, and you're like pioneer. So what do you do? This is a big challenge. um, but what what helps us going through, because right now I'm feeling like making a startup, it's a huge emotional roller coaster. You like have your ups and downs, and what helps me actually going through this roller coaster is talking to people, because they are really supportive. They are really helpful. They willing to answer our questions, and we do a lot of talking to locals, because otherwise, out of my brain, I wouldn't be able to make the strategy or make the idea of the tool, or understand the problem.
Right.
And it's all became possible because people are actually open to talk about their problems. They actually uh, want their problems to be solved, and thanks to them, we are moving forward. This is the one thing. The second thing is, these days, not a lot of investors are looking uh, to the legal tech domain because of its complexity. And it's really complex, because I've talked to people doing like chatbots using some internal documentation or some simpler projects, and they were really effective because of the uh, more simple domain and simpler information. But here, like the amount of um, cases, or the amount of like different variants of how things may happen, it's astonishing, and it's actually what drives the complexity of the tool and increases the R&D expenses. So it's there is a joke actually. uh, we do this not because it is easy, but because we thought it would be easy. Right, and I love the joke because every time we understand, like, hey, there is a nuance over here or over there, we're like, oh my god, like the level of complexity increases. But on the other hand, it's actually a huge driver for technology guys, because as technology nerds, we love complicated things. We love to break them, and we love to assemble them back.
Right, right. And there are a lot of things at risk also, Totally correct me if I'm wrong, because when we are dealing with legal fraternity, we don't know what people is going to use the platform for. I mean, I'm trying to sound smart here, but I'm trying to phrase the question that the margin of error, has to be very, very, very little, so that it kind of holds the trust. Because if it, even if it's 1%, it's going to cause a big damage somewhere down the line.
Right, exactly. And this is probably the we were thinking about it a lot. And what we came up with is actually like claiming that we are the first people doing AI, saying like you don't have to trust AI. Please don't do that. And the goal is to, for using AI is to help people find the right information in the original sources faster. So the goal is not to like take those generated content and use it. The goal is to use this generated content to find the right information faster. That's it. That's it. Because, well, can you imagine as a lawyer giving the piece of generated text to a judge, or and it happened to be like faulty or not true? That's it. That's it for you. That's it for the product to use, because you definitely want to uh, uh, take product as responsible for that as well. So we don't want this to happen. We want people to be able to find original information faster and use it as fast as possible. That's it.
Right, right. So you want to reduce the time basically that they are taking in the process.
At the very first step, yes. But generally, the idea is even when we go further, I really want everything that is generated to be proven and easily checked. Because without any verification, we are not at the stage when we can blindly trust AI, and especially in the field of legal, where it it is really, really hard, like
Right.
extraordinarily hard. And maybe, but because I watched the interview of Sam Altman recently, and he said like they are going to release GPT-5 in May and GPT-6 in November. So and he's saying like it will become smarter. It is definitely will become smarter, which means that we'll be able to see where it is all going. But definitely it's still a how to say it, it's still a direction where everyone will be going, but it's a generic direction, and all the like niche industries will be catching up a little later.
Right, right. No, that makes sense. And I guess as you said that as a race, as a civilization, as a species rather, we love to kind of make new things, explore new things, learn new things. And if you don't do it, you lose the train, you lose the flight, and kind of standing and just seeing off the other people who kind of going aboard.
Maybe,
We
maybe excuse me for adding my 5 cents over here, but we definitely look at what ChatGPT does and where it's headed, because it's another threat to any legal product. Because,
Right.
well, everyone knows what ChatGPT is. Everyone knows what is capable of, and if it got new possibilities, everyone will definitely go and check it out.
Right.
But the product that no one knows and no one has experimented with, well, it takes some time to adopt, right? So we are definitely feel the time pressure from the big guys.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You're kind of running against the time. But there's one thing, Anthony, that I want to add. However, you are the tech guy. All of my information comes from what I hear, what I read about this, because this is the new thing, and because I'm concerned with legal fraternity, so it kind of becomes my task to stay updated. A lot of arguments also say that ChatGPT goes on worldwide web majorly, all the data that it has. It kind of searches for a lot of things. Like in US, something happened and somebody curated a case. They filed a case using ChatGPT, and they did everything. Ultimately, they also cited a, a court order which was not a real court order but was part of a blog. So that kind of thrashed everything. Now, when a model like ChatGPT, which goes everywhere and finds few things for you, and you, I mean, by you I mean a lawyer who doesn't have time to train ChatGPT, even their team, because they are not generally not tech savvy. That's when products like Case Research AI comes into play, because you have trained your model particularly for the problem statement that you are serving it for. I mean, then I guess we are doing a apple to orange comparison, but it's just that people will take some time to understand this. It's like you cannot compare a MacBook and
And the
and a phone.
pliers.
You,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, you can't compare them. It's just completely different. However, they both are
Right.
smart, but it's just completely different. So I think this is what the conversation should be about always. That these two things are completely different, but as you said, you know more about this than me, that you kind of want to look at the direction ChatGPT is going and where people are going, so that you also kind of work on your pace.
Yeah, right. But I want to explain a little bit more because,
Sure.
like, we feel the pressure because people know what ChatGPT is and what it's capable of, and it's usually like, "Hey, those guys already have it. Like, why don't you?" Well, uh, yes, but if you want the quality content, if you want the thing to suits your daily tasks, it it'll take time, right? And
Right.
generic stuff will always be generic.
Right. There's a difference between a sewing pin and a sword. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of, we're talking about what is required for what. Totally, we have also received a few questions. So we and this was some private kind of chat that we started with a few of our subscribers and newsletter holders. We received a few questions. So I kind of wanted to scroll through them one by one and maybe have your reactions on all of them.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Okay. So here we go. We don't have a gift for it, but it sounds like I do have. But anyways, so the first is what legal tasks and challenges can AI address, and what it cannot. So it's basically, I guess, it's about what AI can and cannot do when it comes to legal tasks.
I think it can do a lot of tasks, and it's a matter of adoption. It's a matter of people wanting to automate those tasks because out of the box, it doesn't really do things. You have to really apply it. You have to have your pain, and you have to want to remove it. So basically, in a term like of 5 years, we'll see that lots of tasks has been automated already, and it keep counting, but there has to be a will to automate it.
Right. And what is there that it cannot do, let's say, even after 5 years?
It cannot replace people. It cannot replace lawyers for sure,
It
even
cannot
after
stand
five
in front of
years.
a judge and asks for a
Yeah,
an
yeah. Yeah, you
anticipation.
cannot like imagine a person and the computer next to that person, like, here, this is like my
Prosecutor. That's my prosecutor.
prosecutor. Yeah, yeah. Just like, this is insane. We are people. We want to interact with people. Or you don't. We won't probably see like a Boston Dynamics robot with the ChatGPT inside doing legal work. No.
Right, right. Okay. Um, Next is about specifically case research AI, because I believe a lot of people met you, and while you were having a discussion in the conference, a lot of people, a lot of them couldn't meet you uh, because of the influx of people who are interested in you. If you missed it, so the question is very straightforward, and I would really appreciate if you put it in points that what are the benefits. So the question is, what benefits does case research AI bring to the table? Why would lawyers use it over other tools? So in terms of benefits, I want you to point down the benefits for me.
Uh, we tried today to work on speed specifically, and speed is not only like you hit enter and you wait for the machine to respond. It's the amount of time that is needed for you to find the right information. So it's the whole process from you formulating your search query to you have this what you need. And it's a lot of things because we all humans, we all formulate our thoughts differently, right? And machine is it'll try to guess, but the more we work on it, the more we are precise on what you are actually looking for, because like lots of lawyers, and we did this experiment with a couple of students. We asked them to place some cases in terms of relevancy, depending based on some search query, and ask them why or how they are doing that. They still use these keywords as a basic tool to structure their search, right? So it'll take some time for people to start using this technology differently, to uh, use it more like a human instead of just like uh, adapt your thoughts to be easily understood by computer. We want the actually the other way. We want computer to understand us, right?
Right.
So this is the thing number one, and until we are good with it, we will probably not be talking about thing number two, because this is already way too complicated, or like, yeah, the way we see it, it's so granular, and there are so many things. It's not only uh, understanding person, but it's also searching in the right places. It's also providing the right information, because we don't want like really don't want the case when we understand you, but what we give you is just like, hey, this is the case, you may go and look somewhere inside of it, there is an information that you were looking for. It's we are sorry, this is 200 pages long, you are the lawyer, you know how to look, right? This is not the case, it has to be like straight away. So there are lots of tiny little things that we actually want to focus on in order to make this process as fast as possible.
Right, right. There's another discussion on top of this. I want to add a few things here, or rather ask you another top of question on this. A lot of times we have also seen that AI hallucinates. When you say
Mhm.
that it will kind of show you a 200 page thing and just ask you to kind of scan through it. So how do you mitigate that risk of hallucination?
We do this in several steps. We have our quality assurance process that we want to tell you that it completely guarantees that it doesn't, like, your content doesn't have any hallucination. No, it's impossible right now, but it's definitely removing the risks significantly. But there's still a chance for sort of hallucinations or inaccuracy. And for that, we have this tools for you to actually verify, but not by going through 200 pages document, but actually highlighting the bits of information we get that information was summarized or like presented to you, so that you can verify it yourself. But and you don't need this information provided by AI. You need the source, and we actually help you get information from the source. That's it.
Okay.
So as much as possible, we try in our product for lawyers not to use generated content, but basically actually go to the source and see what's there.
Okay. Okay. So, so there's a very minimal human intervention that is required that I can understand.
Yes, that's what our goal is.
Okay. Okay. I like the fact, Tolly. I want to add this. Since we are having this discussion a little about 40 minutes, you have been so honest about your product. Like it hallucinates. Yes, it does. But we are working on it. It's not 100% accurate, but yes, we are working on it. And everything that you are saying kind of makes sense. You are not hallucinating me right now, and that's what I love about the conversation. That it's just going so honest. And I guess that's the beauty of my father is a businessman. Okay, I just want to give an understanding. My father is a businessman, and he always says, "Your shop, your store, your customers, your product is what you are." So if you are a good person, if you are an honest personality, your product is completely honest with their customers. So it's the reflection of you, and I guess this is the case research AI is a reflection of you and your entire team. So kudos to you. I was thinking to say this, but I don't know how to say this, so I just took an example of my father. So kudos to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Uh, Another thing somebody asked about data privacy and security. Now, yeah, this is another discussion that people talk about. To train uh, AI, you need a lot of information, and that has to be publicly available. You see, and sometimes a lot of discussion. I'm not sure whether this discussion is correct. It kinds of come into like, are you breaching the data? Is there data security with what we are doing? Because the thing that I'm studying is on your platform. So, is there a data breach happening? How does the privacy work? So, please throw some light on the concerns of data privacy and security for us.
Um, this one is actually kind of hard because we keep hearing like there was like a data leak or there was like an issue in that company, and even the biggest ones have these problems, right? So it's actually a chase between technology companies that try to secure their data and people trying to steal. And it will
Okay.
always be because stealing things is one of the oldest activities, right? So, so um, we are trying to actually make it a huge concern for this company. We try to, uh, first of all, follow the Aries like most recent standards. But not only that, we try to add like extra layer of encryption towards your data so that it stays yours. Uh, what else? We are really concerned about actually sending your request to a third parties because like this is a thing for us because once we send them elsewhere, we cannot guarantee that it'll be used in a proper way. Maybe like their terms are okay now, but we also like companies tend to change their terms
Mhm.
of service. So basically, what is out of our infrastructure, we know we can no longer control it, and this is a big like no for us because we want to make sure no sensitive data can go out of our infrastructure, and we make sure that we keep it secure and encrypted as much as possible so that um, we can say like I can be you could like, so I can tell you like you are
You're in safe.
safe, but it's a double-edged sword, because
Right.
on one hand I can keep telling you, on the other hand I know like there is some smarter like evil genius who is looking for companies, so we stay alert all the time, and it's a hard process. Probably I like, if you ask me, being honest, and guarantee that your data will never get out, uh, I would like to you to say that like you can be sure, but I can be honest that we are taking every measure to avoid that, and we're doing our best and follow the most advanced security standards for this not to happen. And I think this is the state every company is doing right now. They're just saying about it differently.
Right, right. Okay, okay. But it's a challenge that, of course, everyone is facing right now, and everyone is trying to mitigate that risk as minimal as possible, as you said.
Yes, yes, definitely. It's all about mitigating risks. And since we want to make it like next level, so to say, that is why it actually adds some restrictions for us, so that we cannot use any third party like third party services to avoid this data leaks.
Makes sense. So that makes sense. That completely makes sense. Um, okay, so I guess we have few more questions, but I guess all of it we have covered in our conversation. How how research AI is mitigating the risk, and how it is kind of helpful in terms of when a lawyer implements it in their daily tasks. So it will basically reduce the time frame of their workload, and eventually the plans are even bigger. um, I guess now I have it's not my last question, but I kind of want to, if I have to summarize the conversation, what we are looking at is, we are looking at, as you said, we are looking at a second grader who kind of help you in a lot of things, and something that you do that take 4 hours, you can do it in like maybe 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even lesser, not sure. But it is going to help you, give you those hours to work on something else, so that you can charge another client based on the billing hours. That's one thing I believe. On top of this, it's the new age, and as you said, the people who are good with AI are going to replace the people who are not good with AI. So it's people versus people, and it's always about upskilling. So that's where case research AI is going to add value, and people should kind of adopt it. My question is, India is a very big market, and a lot of times it's fragmented also. Like you see, there are
Mhm.
so many lawyers, but how many lawyers practice in tier 2s and tier 3s? How many lawyers practice in high court and supreme court? How many general counsels are there? That there are, then there you will find different insights of it. So collaborations become very important. Like you go to a lot of events, IBA, you said you came to Lextalk also. Such kind of collaborations always make sense. Are you actively looking for collaborations? Why I'm asking this is because if any of our viewer kind of collaborate with you, or you want to collaborate with someone, you're open for it, so that you keep on having those opportunities coming to you, every now and then, from India specifically.
Oh, yeah, really. Thanks for mentioning that. Yes, we are actively looking for every one who is willing to help, really, who wants to be a part of this product. Because honestly, like, um, I probably don't know any business that is operated by single companies solely. So it's a matter of a joint effort to do something great together. And we are definitely, I like, not in this game, but we are definitely willing to expand our pool of possibilities.
Okay.
And what I also wanted to add, that it's not only our goal to like to make you charge your clients less because you spend less time for search, but actually we want to add you a lot more possibilities, and we want to make you like a more effective lawyer, because let's say you have like a one second grader, but the most effective one in the world, right? This it'll shape the whole things up a little bit differently because like you have your buddy who is always there with you and can help you right away, can understand you quick and give you information that you need. That's probably the uh, I I hope it'll put a slightly different flavor that just having a second grader that you have to control and monitor and um, direct.
That's the perfect way to put it. As I said, you are the product owner. You have the perfect pitch to how to put it in front of the audience, and that's what you are doing. So yeah, Tali, this was a great conversation that we had so far. We talked about your personal journey, 15 years of experience, and then you coming from Ukraine. Your team is in Ukraine. How the product is not just a product; it's also beyond it. It is giving few people uh, an option to look at something and then work for it and forget about the atrocities that are happening around them. And it is also a product that is going to help larger community, to kind of help the tertiary community, which is the kind of the appellants who are appealing for the case, and that ultimately will be kind of served well. So there are so many people that are just served with one single product, and I have never thought about anything so gracefully, so insightfully the way I did it for you, because there is a straight understanding that is coming to me. So I just don't want to lie there because you're being honest. So I'm trying to be honest in front of you as well. Anything else, sorry, that you want to add? Okay, last question should be: where can people find cases such here? Like if they want to try it, if they want to kind of talk to you, what's the fastest way to do it?
The fastest way to do it is just write me an email or LinkedIn. Please do that. The easiest way to try Case Research AI and is to go to Case Research AI and try it. It is still a pre-product. We are doing a lot of experimenting right now. We are doing like lots of different things. So it may, especially with understanding human language. So, and we changing the algorithms probably on a daily basis. So if you see like something is not doing right today, maybe tomorrow you're gonna get more luck. But this is just because of the process is so agile and we are doing lots of things in parallel that is rapidly evolving and
And the
feel
product
free
is
to
available
use it.
free. They can use
Uh,
it for free.
yeah, right now it's all because of it's pre-product, and we only operate with a limited data set. We want to stay this way before going any further until we are certain that the logic is working properly. And we are doing our best to tune it and to make it work good. That's it. Until we do that, we don't add any more data. We don't add any payments or anything else, just because we don't think you actually it's fair to ask money for product that doesn't give you any value. That's probably the most honest
That's that's
answer.
that's the cherry on the cake. I mean, you've built your personality so well, and now you just put a cherry on the cake, and now it looks even beautiful. So, kudos to the product, kudos to you, kudos to you being the personality, the kind of personality that you are. Kudos to your team for doing the efforts that you guys are doing, and I am kind of overwhelmed after talking to you. And I would also like to thank our uh, participants who kind of send us these questions, and I hope you all got your answers. If you have any other questions, as Stoli said, he's always available over LinkedIn. Anatoly Kotlyar is his name. It spells like Kotlyar. Anatoly is very straightforward. We're going to also put the links of his LinkedIn, of the website, in the description box, so you can always find it. Do check out the product. And this podcast is not about his product, it is about the journey of AI and how it's helping legal tech go in the direction of where it is supposed to go. And it is also about knowing more about Anatoly. So it was a lovely conversation, Toli. I hope you
Thank
also
you.
liked it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm really excited about upcoming years. We are all of us are living in very excited times. Well, when lots of things are changing. So let's see where it's all headed. And thanks for having me. It was a huge pleasure talking about a little bit of personal trying. Well, you see, like my stand up requires a little bit more jokes, so I'm gonna work on it. When I'm ready, I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, for sure. We all are waiting for the tickets. As soon as they are out, we're going to put it on the on our channel possibly. So once again, thank you Toli for your time. Thank you viewers for your time. We'll keep our fingers crossed for good times to come. And yeah, meanwhile, stay safe, take care, and stay tuned to Let's Talk podcast. I'll see you on the other side. Thank you very much.
Thank you.